and pull up the presentation. So for my interview, I decided to focus on older adults. We talked about many different questions, but the two biggest ones that stood out to me, I'll be covering today in these slides. The first one was, what kind of physical health problems has she experienced in the last 10 years? The number one problem that she experienced was lung cancer that she found by accident, and they had to remove the lower lobe of her left lung. This was increasingly difficult during COVID-19, as if she contracted the disease it could be potentially fatal for her. So that is one that's really limited what she can do in life more than the others. She's received multiple rounds of chemotherapy, and it's something that she continually has to go back and check as more masses develop that she can maintain her health. She's also had 3 different stress fractures in her back at different periods of time, and also has macular degeneration. She's had members in her family go blind from this in the past, but is grateful for modern medicine as she gets shots that help prevent the progression of this disease. She also mentioned that some of the biggest concerns she has had during this whole interview, or the different points that we talked about, is really just her physical health. As she gets older, her mood has maintained, her connections have maintained, but the one thing that continually kind of gets more complicated as she ages is really just her physical health. The second question that I took a lot from was how she gets through hard times. She has a very large support system around her, from church to neighbors to her family who all lives in Utah and nearby. They really help her get through some of those more difficult times in her life. And even when her health may decline at points or she is shaken, the love that she receives helps her to push through. She also tries to really maintain a positive attitude and be patient. And she knows if she is patient and remains in a positive attitude, that she will be able to get through anything with the help of her spouse and family. She's also had very many different tragedies in her life, but she's held on to the gospel as her anchor and takes hope in the fact that she will be reunited with them again. So some of those harder aspects she's been able to get through and find peace in because of her connection to the gospel. And in times when she doesn't know what to do, or she's afraid of the future, she doesn't know how to handle each situation, she asks herself, what would her mother do? And it causes her to pause and reflect and be inspired to take action and really push through some of those harder times. Some of the key reflections I took away is that social connections is really what helps them maintain the highest degree of quality of life. I know that older adults often struggle with mental health and isolation or being neglected, but because of her social connections, she's really been able to maintain that quality of life that many others aren't able to do or don't have the fortune of having. And because of that, she's been able to avoid problems with mental health. She's been able to stay positive, which has had a drastic outcome on her health conditions. I also was really impacted by how much a stressor that health becomes, specifically mental or physical health. You know, in our 20s or during college, we don't have to think about health quite as much. But as you get older, that's really what gets increasingly complicated. It's a reason for concern. You're concerned for your family, for your own well-being, and for your spouse. So her points of stress and focus has drastically changed since she was younger, and has become increasingly more concerning as she gets older. She also specifically talked a lot about attitude, and even if your health declines, it doesn't have to impact your quality of life. That having the right attitude is really what carries you through life as you get older. And with the right attitude, she knows she can push us through life's hardest challenges. And these were some of the key takeaways that I took from my interview with her. Thank you.